I just want to introduce first why I was so excited to invite you to one of these sessions. Um, you're doing some really, really powerful work in the world with, creating documentaries and books and like really putting your heart into something that is a true passion for you. And
Mm,
whenever we have like a system of our mind body system, our electromagnetics, our lineage, our genetics, our beliefs, um,
mm,
that has anything that doesn't align with that vision, it'll create resistance. So it'll
right,
like make it harder or not fun, or like opportunities won't come in, or it's we just have a harder time with things and there's blocks in the way.
right.
And I have known you for a while and really gotten to know your heart, really first and foremost, of what an amazing person you are, how much you care, how much you have to give, and how you've really devoted your life to that. And
Mm,
yeah, and I've also, from just conversations we've had and getting to know you and just, being energy sensitive, noticed there are things in your system that are ready to go so that you're more free to do this work in an even more powerful way.
mm, beautiful.
So, like I said, the system is, the lineage, genetics, belief systems, assumptions, it's conscious and unconscious parts about ourselves. A lot of it is unconscious.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also like traumatic experiences that we've suppressed because we didn't have the resources to move through the emotions or the reality of that experience when it happened. But then, like, we grew up and we're resourced and we're more powerful, and it's time to unpack those. We don't need to carry them around anymore. And so, like, digesting that trauma, letting the body move through the emotions is a really clearing and healing experience as well. So sometimes that's part of what moves out. Um, and sometimes it's just like we don't even realize a past life, or we can pick up on the energies of it, and we don't even necessarily have to know, like, oh, this is from your mom's lineage or your father's lineage or some other part of your experience or a past life or experiences in this life. Like the genetics actually carry the memory. So even if it wasn't in this lifetime, it's handed down in the lineage, it's handed down in the DNA, and there's lots of scientific data demonstrating this, that like we'll have these blocks or these belief systems that aren't serving us and we can clear them.
Mm, beautiful.
So do you have any particular things you
I
want
do.
to focus on? Okay.
I do. As you know, I created this beautiful film, The Inside Effects, How the Body Heals Itself. Things went fantastically with that. The release, so many people saw it. It like made such an impact on the world. I did two books, and those went well. Everything was great. And then I found an agent because I wanted to turn it into a film series. So I found a sales agent to turn that into a film series and another film project called Food Forest Freedom. And this agent said, "Yeah, I'm going to go to Cannes Film Festival and sell both of those, the series and the film." So then I got a call from Cannes saying, "We did it. We sold them." I was like, "Yeah, sweet. Okay." I waited for weeks. They came back, and the person that introduced me to the agent and the agent. And then when they got back, it was like what they said then was a completely different thing. It was not sold. It was more like if we produced it, already had it produced, then they could get it up on one of the streaming services and we would sell it and then we'd get 90%. That's completely different than sold. Two different things. Uh, so I was like, okay, moving on. Interesting. So moved on from them and just was looking for investors and kind of moving forward on the project. And then just it seemed like everything shut down, like everything regarding film. Book business still great, but anything to do with film, which is like what I'm really, really passionate about, it was just like dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end. So recently, I reached out to a shaman, dear friend of ours, and my editor was here with me. He actually traveled with us from Florida up to here. We kind of, he's like my adopted son now. We're like family. So it's like my wife, me, and this awesome, incredible editor. And so all three of us, it seemed like everything had just at the same time. So not sharing that with the shaman or anything, just saying, hey, things felt like they really shut down. She shared that when his mother passed away, his family they were pretty grumpy about choices he was making, and she said that they had cursed him and us. All right. So whether you believe in curses or not,
Wait,
uh,
say again who the curse came from?
from Theo, my editor's family,
Okay.
had put a hex on us, and that we wouldn't have any success, right? And and she didn't know anything about any of that stuff that he had went through, but put words on it expertly, and just said that on the three of us there was like a dark cloud, sticky, gooey stuff on us. And so we all worked through that, and we all released it, and we all did the thing. And since then, man, things have opened up for him, and like business is flowing and everything. And I felt great for like a couple days, and then it just felt like energetically, like that dark feeling that I was so sensitive to seemed to creep back in. So it was like subconscious mind holding on to the story. I don't know what.
Okay.
Uh, but it's like when I saw it come up on the calendar for today, I was like, oh my God, no wonder we got postponed. Because right now it's exactly the time, right? Exactly the time that I would love to connect with you and work through and release all of
Okay.
that
This is good.
energy.
This is huge. The biggest thing to see that's really, really helpful is that life is always serving my expansion. And it
Mm,
can seem like that's not true if things aren't going well, or like this person put a curse and now like I'm screwed, and it gets a little bit muddled. But
yeah.
what's really happening is this. All right, when you spoke about the agent and their services, and then what came up in the field is like expectations you had that weren't met. And it really muddied what could have been created between you for the project that actually is forward momentum. And then the perspective you're seeing them through is like almost like betrayed, like they lied to me, or there's a lot of anger. Now, this isn't about them. It's actually in your system, it's in your field, it's in your we can figure out exactly like where it's come from and if that's important in any way, but it's in your system as part of your operating system, meaning like sometimes you use that anger to like overcome things or get beyond things or like protect yourself from things. Oh, right. So we got to look at protections. But it's not serving you anymore to carry that in your field. And so that'll have you bump out. Because when you talked about them offering you, like, yeah, we like this, we will stream this, we will be partnering with you and move forward. I can actually see, especially because I've been in these situations before where we had programs and projects, and then it's like, oh, we sold it to the network, but that's actually what it meant was the network will broadcast this. We still had to create the funding for it. It wasn't at all in any way
Right.
in any part of the institution that they like give you $1 million and buy it and then run with it. So we learned like what that really means. So this is
Yeah.
part of the perspective in your system of the anger and betrayal will have you like block certain things coming in and expanding. And then it coincides with whatever this hex is and this malintent, right? It ends up getting power because I want to say this in a way that makes sense. Um, when we hold the perspective, I'm being held down, I'm powerless, they put a curse, now I've got work to do to like, get it off me. What you resist persists versus like, this is coming in. The only power it can have over you is where you are in resistance to yourself. And so if you're actually ready to look at and release the anger habit, the residues, and what it's protecting you from, no hex and no curse can have any power on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a big part of this is freeing yourself from just some programming that's been in your system that you've had to protect yourself from, or experiences shame, inferiority. And these are real. Like there was some real experience you had, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna, whether it was bullying or something that happened, and then the anger had you overcome it. And that's great at that time. It's just not serving you anymore, and it's not needed. And it does feel like a shame, inferiority, and we want to look at like, were you raised in was there lack, was there poverty, were there some of your identity is tied into that, and it's running on active right now, and it's ready for an upgrade. That's the whole point, is you're ready for a massive upgrade. So what comes up around that, and are you ready to look at that? That's actually the most important first part. Are you ready to open the door of that?
Absolutely. Of course.
So it's always important to know why, because like the clarity you have for your vision, where you're going, that expansion, that the majesty of like this work being out there and celebrating the world that gets created as a result of people seeing your work. There has to be a really big why, and you got to be consciously aware that you're choosing it. So sometimes like shit hits the fan to stir this stuff up so it can move out. Um, but we actually think it's just getting in the way. And if you know, like, oh, I know why this is happening, it's clearing the space for everything I'm asking for. And yes, I choose consciously to be on board for that. Then we're not a victim. Doesn't mean it's comfortable when stuff hits the fan. It's not. But it just means like I can be less resistant to it. So it fluidly and quickly moves through.
Hmm. Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So let me just feel, is there anything else? There's other stuff we can put on the table for this. So there's everything coming up with the documentary film and the life of that, and the life of you moving forward as a filmmaker, as a prominent, powerful, respected, loved, cherished, supported is a big one. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
you in your own energy. So to receive support is going to be very new in your system, but we got to make space for that. I'm supported. Things are happening for me. I'm in my genius, and the structures that support that are brought in.
Mm. Yes.
And there's more. Okay, so let me ask you this way. If there were more you received as a result of drudging up the doldrums of anything in there that's going to move out and make space, what more would that be in your life, in your health, in your relationship, even just your relationship with yourself?
Well, just more, what you're talking about, more expansion. It's like I feel like everything that I do is to make a difference in the planet, in the world. Uh, so more people receiving that gift, more people experiencing the ways that I show up and the ways that I give.
Okay, this is it. So
Yeah.
I want you to feel into that world,
Yeah.
the world that is a result of your difference. And so more people have a fulfillment, have a knowing, have a resolution of challenges, problems, pains, have a deep sense of support and clarity. And I want you to put in there everything and anything that goes along with this. And then just tell me when you start to feel that, like, ooh, yes, they're loved and cherished. They're creators. They're powerful. They know who they are. They're supported. I want you to tell me when you have a feeling of that, even a 2% feeling of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to take that, and I'll ask you, would you be willing to embody that in all of the spaces and places in your system unconditionally so that it can automatically extend to them?
Yes.
Okay. So now I want you to just feel that as if you are the universe as if your system is the entire human collective. And I want you to bring it into these places in you with love, gently, with compassion, with grace, and let it open to any and all parts of your system in the timing, in the method, in the pathways that are most harmonious and most fulfilling for you. And just let that breathe itself in easily, effortlessly. It's here for you. Let it come into every cell. Let it come into every channel. Let it come into every aspect. Stay right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Feel it.
Good. Stay with that and let it percolate even further. And then let it come in a way that is absolute, meaning infinite, unconditional, certain, complete, solid, grounded, unconditionally here, supported. And then breathe it through your body and beyond your body, as if the breath comes all the way down to the belly and then it goes out beyond your entire body. So it includes the space beyond your body. Good. Okay. And if you could allow, just by your being fully seen, this to clear for everyone in the human collective, and then it's just a matter of them stepping into it. They see the work, or they read your book, or they even just the osmotic effect of others who have seen the work or read the if by being seen, being vulnerable, and letting go of who you think you are, you could allow it to instantaneously be accessible for them, would you be willing to do so? And if it's a yes, you can just say yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's huge. Okay. So just breathe through your body. And I'm going to just share some truths that you can let resonate in your system. Just breathe light in as you receive this. So you are here to be a space of love in the delusion of inferiority. And so many, many, many people are actually held back from embodying the light, from living their heart, from following their dream, or even knowing what it is, simply because they bought into the idea they're not good enough, the idea they're less than, the idea they're not worthy. And so then they're, as you believe, so it is. They find they're not supported, and they find life doesn't really want what I have to offer. And it will always show us to be right. And so I want you to, with courage, be willing to be the one who is seen, who is vulnerable, who is willing to move through creating your vision with total grace and ease. There's nothing to fear. Because when there's no judgment, I can just let it all be seen. As I let it be seen, it clears. It's not part of who I am to begin with. And so I don't need to hold myself as if it is part of who I am. So anything in the way of that, would you delete the programs that say it's not that easy, the programs that say I can't do it, I'm not good enough, everything and anything that is, would you delete? And if it's a yes, you can say yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, good. Breath. And anything that says, I can't let this be seen. I can let the other stuff be seen, but like this is the shameful bad stuff. I can't let it be seen. And so some part of you keeps it covered, keeps it suppressed. What you resist persists. If there's no suppression, that is not who you truly are. It literally releases from your system. So any part of you that was on board for suppression, protection, would you delete and uncreate?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want you to just breathe into anywhere in your body or the space around your body where there are these programs of not good enough from your history, from your memory, from your experiences, and from how you perceived those experiences in the template of your own lineage and what it says about you. And here's who we are, here's what we can and can't do, everything that's kept this in place. So, are you willing to feel into everything that's underneath this shame and adequacy, identity, inferiority, and just let it be 100% exactly as it is? And if it's a yes, you could just say yes.
Yes.
Take a deep breath. If anything comes up around that, you can speak to that as well. Just take some breaths in. I'm going to tune into your system on this. Okay. Anything that says I'm not fully acceptable exactly as I am, would you delete and uncreate?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. And any codes or programs that have you identify with your experiences, like your upbringing or the way people treated you, or this happened and that happened, or someone said this, or this is how my family is. Any of these codes that have you think that's who I am, any of these codes that have you take it on, would you delete and uncreate?
Yes.
Good. Okay, take a few deep breaths because I actually released a lot. Okay. And anywhere that your sense of identity and belonging came from that, you can let that go too. You can have um, a sense of self that's based on the true self and not based on these codes and not based on the old identity or of whatever you took on back there. You can have your sense of self from who you truly are, from your heart, from your courage, from your divine expression, from your inspiration. So just breathe that in. Okay, is there anything else that we need to look at about that sense of shame, unworthiness, inferiority? Yeah, like if you could just let it all be seen, and in so doing, it's just not a part of your system. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So is there anything to speak to on that, to acknowledge, to consciously release or surface? Okay, we're going to do a little bit of EFT tapping. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just tap on the body. And so sometimes the nervous system will hold those frequencies, those pathways, those patterns, and we can literally discharge that electromagnetic energy. So our pathways can do it differently. So starting with the inner eye, you just talk to your body and say, body, it's okay to let go of that way.
What body? It's okay to let go of that way. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's okay to let go of holding on, outer eye, to these
Okay.
protections and sense of self
Sense of self.
under the eye. Just tell your body, body, it's okay to let go of this protection. Under the nose, it's okay to let go of the family codes. On the chin, it's okay to let go of identifying with the family. Under the collarbone, it's okay to stop protecting myself from my family. Who I am is who I am. It cannot be threatened. Under the arm, body, it's okay to let go of shame and inferiority. That has been the human experience and my experience. Top of the head. And everything that triggers the anger. Inner eye, it's okay to let go of this anger.
It's okay to let go of this anger
Outer eye, and what it's protecting me from.
and what it's protecting me from.
It's okay to let go of expectations.
Let go of expectation.
And it's okay to let go of not getting my expectations met. Under the nose, it's okay to get my expectations met. on the chin. It's okay to not get my expectations met. I can let go where it feels like a threat and someone puts me down under the collarbone, when someone treats me bad. I can let go of where this feels like a threat.
To let go of where this feels like a threat.
See, it would feel like a threat because it would trigger the inadequacy. It would trigger these programs. So just say, these are just programs.
These are just programs.
They're not who I truly am.
Who I truly am.
I can welcome all the experiences
And welcome all the experiences.
of someone putting me down, someone treating me less than.
Someone treating me less than.
I don't need to protect myself from this. Under the arm, I don't need to put energy into that anymore. I can just put energy into my forward momentum. Top of the head. I release all of these programs that maybe protected me for a long time, but are no longer serving me. I take a deep breath in and let it go. Okay, put your hand on your heart. Say it's okay for me to be free as a creator.
Okay for me to be free as a creator.
It's okay for me to be loving as a creator.
Okay for me to be loving as a creator.
It's okay for me to be supported as a creator.
Okay for me to be supported as a creator.
It's okay for it to be easy for me as a creator.
Okay for it to be easy for me as a creator.
It's okay for me to let love in as a creator.
It's okay for me to let love in as a creator.
Take a deep breath. Okay. I want to look more at the anger betrayal pattern, because there was so much of your energy going into that. And I just want to see if there's anything that resonated with you about that.
Let down is the words I would have used. Like, I didn't feel, you know, and I guess betrayal is another word for what I would say let down. I wouldn't use the word betrayal, but I think that's what it felt like.
Like disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah. If you like, I feel like I went from the world gets to hear this powerful and like message that is so ripe to be heard right now, millions of people are going to see it. It's like Roku deal. Like the whole world is going to see this. Back to my outreach, right?
Yes,
This,
yes. The
oh,
closure.
like,
Yes, yes.
and it was like, well, and to go from one energy to the other like so fast was just a complete uh shock to my system.
Okay. This is always what happens when we're putting our power outside ourselves, when we're giving our power away. It's a all or nothing. It's a whole expansion, or a massive closure. And what you want to start to see is this experience is showing you, it's just a tweak to begin to remember my source is within me,
Yep.
not from who or the agent or the deal. This is just an experience to remind you my source is within me and it's unconditional.
And that's what I was going to share. I know, and anybody that's ever worked with me personally, my me, right? Who I am, who I be, the way I show up, how passionate I am about what I do, me as the message for that is what attracts people and why people say yes to publishing with us, to being in a film. It's always, the feeling and the essence of the truth of how vulnerable and open and loving and all the things that I am shows up, whether I'm not putting it on. It's just who I am, right? And and so that's what it felt like, because of what you said, because that power, now I put it outside of me, right? When that power outside of me got shut down,
It
it felt
is.
like it subconsciously closed down the part of me that knows that truth about me, that
Yeah.
always the person that showed up when they were connecting with people in such a way that they're like, I don't even know why I'm saying yes to this, but I'm saying yes. And I know it's because I fully know that I can fully deliver what I would ever share or say, and from and get people to their next level, right? So So it felt like that created a doubt in my self.
The opposite. It's the opposite. The doubt created that experience blowing up because
Ah,
any some part of us puts source outside ourselves
yeah,
or bigger outside ourselves than within, it's going to collapse. And it's only collapsing to show you where the real power is. And that when you do that tweak of it's unconditional, whether this guy does this or that does that or this happens, it
yeah,
is already unconditional. And then the delight of the specifics can come in, but it won't be the mega world all or nothing because it's unconditional. It already exists.
yeah.
So do you want to put that in the system a little bit? We can tap that in to let your wisdom know that. All right. So just say, nothing can
Yes.
be from me.
What were you gonna?
And inner eye, just say, nothing can be taken from me.
Nothing can be taken from me.
What would they have called you when you were a little kid?
Uh, fatty,
Ratty?
fatty.
Ratty?
Fatty. You mean like if I was bullied?
No, no, no. Oh my God. No, we got to talk about that too.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. No, like, would they have just said, hey, Keithy or Keith, or like, is there a nickname?
Oh, Little Keith. Yeah.
Okay. So
Or
say, hey,
Keith.
little Keith.
He's pretty good. Yeah, I love that one.
Hey, little Keith.
Hey, Little Keith.
Our success is assured.
Our success is assured.
Outer eye. It is who we are.
It is who we are.
It cannot be increased or diminished
Not be increased or diminished.
under the eye. It can be fun to see it play out,
It'd be fun to see it play out
and we can enjoy the ride.
and enjoy the ride.
And it's important to know
Important to know
under the nose, our success is assured.
our success is assured.
Our success is who I am,
Our success is who I am.
and it has its own timeline.
And it has its own timeline.
You never need to think
You never need to think
on the chin that it's conditional
it's conditional.
on the outer world,
Outer world,
outer circumstances,
circumstances,
or how you're feeling
what I were feeling.
under the collarbone. Tell him, I love you unconditionally.
Love you unconditionally.
And whenever you're ready,
Whenever you're ready,
you can let go of this idea
let go of this idea.
of putting our success outside ourself.
Putting our success outside ourselves.
Source is in here.
Here.
It's an inside job.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, and that's part of why you're so emphatic of getting that in the world is because there's a part of you that really wants to let that in even more. So just say, by me getting it
Let me get in it.
cellularly and down to my bones,
Literally and down to my bones.
I live the unconditional truth
I live the unconditional truth
that I already am whole.
that I already am whole.
This was an awesome experience to remind me of that.
This was an awesome experience to remind me of that.
Under the arm, this was an opportunity to embrace
It's an opportunity to embrace
truth I'm here to share.
truth I'm here to share.
And all that needs to happen is me embodying it.
All that needs to happen is me embodying.
That ignites my work,
That ignites my work,
my movies,
movies,
and my brand,
brand,
my body.
body.
And it is inevitable
It is inevitable
that calls in everything
that calls in everything
and everyone
and everyone
who is a part of creating this.
part of creating this.
Inner eye, little Keith, you can let it be easy.
Little Keith, you can let it be easy.
Outer eye, you are infinitely loved.
You are infinitely loved.
Under the eye, for the creator you are.
For the creator you are.
under the nose for the heart that you have,
for the heart that you have.
on the chin, and it is enough.
It is enough.
And you can show me how you feel
You can show me how you feel.
and let go of everyone else
Let go of everyone else.
under the collarbone. You are already whole,
You are already whole.
and we can just express that in every moment.
You can just express that in everyone.
Under the arm, my success is who I am.
My success is who I am.
And I can enjoy the course of that expressing itself.
I can enjoy the force of that expressing itself.
Top of the head in divine timing.
In divine timing.
And I can be in peace and joy all along the way.
I can be in peace and joy all along the way.
Deep breath in and big breath out. You look different. And I want to note that because when people see that, it's almost like when we have an aura and people are like, no, I don't see auras, but we all do see the effect of that, the energy someone's in, and they're like beautiful and attractive and glowing, and they'll look very different when they release the energy.
Hmm.
There's something else to go into with the bullying. Two things. So bullies, it's not random who they pick on. They don't just pick on someone who subconsciously carries the same shame that they carry. It's always, always, always someone that also has the power and the heart to transmute it.
Mm. Hmm.
And so I wonder if this experience with the bullies in any way opened you to your heart of compassion, opened you to how much you care about humans and how much you want to contribute,
Mm-hmm.
how much you like empathically feel the pain of people not knowing who they are and not knowing the truth.
Yes.
So are you ready to resolve some of that energy with the bullies?
Sure.
All right. So I want you to just bring your attention to your heart and put them in front of you exactly as they were then in that moment. And I want you to feel everything that comes up in your body when you're in front of them and tell little Keith, like, we got this, buddy. We are exponentially bigger than these guys. It's okay to let them bring up what is coming up. That's not who we are. So just breathe that for a moment, bring them right in, feel what comes up when you do. And then I want you to tell them, thank you for showing me who I really am. When we met back there, I felt so horrible about myself. And you brought that to the surface. So I want you to see you could have a kid that kind of subconsciously feels inferior or feels bad, and then everybody leaves him alone, and he's like just getting by and doesn't really meet the depth of that pain. And do you see how distinctly different that is from someone who like pokes it and says, hey, fatty, hey, blah, blah, blah. Say, you poked exactly the pain that I needed to see, that I needed to own with love, that I needed to awaken beyond. I truly am here to be someone of greatness and power. And that requires me letting go of these ideas about myself. Now, those ideas about yourself, they were pretty unconscious, yeah? Okay, I want you to feel how these guys brought them up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much intensity did you feel the result of those ideas about yourself?
I felt like level 10 anger and level 10 compassion at the same exact time. Because I felt that in order for them to do that to me, they were probably having the same done to them.
Yeah. You felt that even back then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell these guys, you picked on the right person because I do see how much you're hurting. Okay. Now I want you to say, I feel your pain.
Feel your pain.
I have felt it as my own.
Felt it as me.
And I'm here to remember who I truly am is bigger than all of this. I'm here to be who I truly am for me and for you. So we all remember wholeness. Okay, and then I want you to, this might sound a little counterintuitive, but I want you to welcome them into your heart. They actually only represent where you were in your own self denial. They're like the out picturing of where you were willing to abuse yourself or have negative thoughts about yourself or just judge yourself. Okay, that was it. You're really in judgment of yourself, which, like you said, the term fatty in this society, it's like normal and healthy for kids to move through like changing body. It's a little bigger and then they have a growth spurt and then they're like super, super skinny and it's very awkward. The body's like sorting itself out. But in this society that has a lot of judgment about body, that is very, very challenging. And so anywhere you held judgment, they're just representing, right? I'm not judgment. That's not my truth. I'm love. I'm light. I'm peace. I'm joy. But if I acknowledge these things, I'm not, and I welcome them, it strengthens who I am, right? So there's no threat to welcoming the bully, to welcoming the judgment. What I am will be strengthened, and what is not me falls away when I embrace what is. So I want you to welcome them into your heart, welcome in everything they represent for you, everything they triggered in you that is not even true about you. And I want you to welcome the experience you had at a level 10. And this takes great courage. The only reason we would do this is because we know that through courage, we are free. We know we're here for a freaking massive purpose that is exponentially bigger than any of this pain. And so we will say yes. So welcome the heart completely and fully with love, with grace, with gratitude for what this has awakened in you, and with gratitude for what this has made you conscious of, what this has brought up for you to release. Say the purpose of this
Purpose of this.
is for me to let go of what I'm not. I don't need to judge what I'm not. Don't need to defend what I'm not. I can welcome all that's here,
All the two.
and it will only strengthen what I am. Now, you being you, you have a lot of awareness that what I am cannot be threatened. The I am that I am, the beauty, the power, the love, the compassion, the all of the visionary insight and creative power, it actually cannot be threatened. And so when I embrace even these low densities, it will actually only feed and strengthen that which I am. Okay. So say, I choose to do this.
I choose to do this.
Set myself free.
Set myself free.
So I want you to see them in front of you. Say, I thank you and I set you free.
Thank you, and I set you free.
I forgive this and I set myself free.
This, and I set myself free.
I forgive myself for my past,
Forgive myself for my past,
my misunderstandings,
my misunderstandings,
my habits and behaviors that didn't serve me.
habits and behaviors that didn't serve me.
Yeah, because it's like an embarrassment to like be stomping around angry. I can't believe you did this to me, or, however the out picturing of that comes out. Once we really see our behavior, we could be embarrassed, but that's just, you don't need to hide from that. You could just like, yep, I'm totally human and I've done some really dumb things and I totally forgive myself because I set myself free. Do you see this?
Yeah.
So say, it's okay for me to see myself
Yes, it's okay for me to see myself.
and all of these behaviors
It
that were blocking my success. Yeah, like it's easy to make it wrong, but there's no wrongness here. It's not wrong at all. It was just stuff that was blocking your success, and you can go, "Oh, well, that's silly. Let's not do that," and begin to embrace the behaviors that allow your success. So I want you to see a rewrite of the agents like they're gonna make it into a series. And like right then and there, your power went outside of you, and now it was a conditional win. And I want you to see her saying that, and you're like, that's awesome. And oh, this or something better. And then I want you to see when she says to you, well, I mean, this is what I meant by sold. They'll air it and we do this and this happens. And I want you to feel the deflation, but I want you to say, this is serving something. So it's okay for me to feel deflated, disappointed. We don't know when we've put our power outside ourselves and made it conditional, but we'll feel the repercussion of that. So say this only happened for a correction. You can say that one aloud too.
This only happened for a correction.
For me to make an inner adjustment to allow this or something better.
This or something better.
To be in non-attachment.
Non-attachment.
And total joy.
Total joy.
With however it's going.
It's however it's going.
Because I know my success is unconditional. I remember who I am.
Who I am.
And let it show me the way.
It show me the way.
Okay, good. Now I want you to just see yourself opening to a new pathway of like what this movie is going to show you what it wants to be. And it's like, hey, dad, like, give me a little space here and like shaking off the shackles. And it's going to go get itself out in the world. And you're just going to be supporting that. Okay. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the movie, you are free to be everything you're here to be.
You are free to be everything you're here to be.
I don't need to use your what is it of the movie, your exposure, I don't need to use you as a way to feel good about myself. Okay, because you feel like then it's conditional. I'm successful if the movie does this. It's still based on say to the movie, you've shown me something about myself where I was in duality with my self-worth. So the greatest act of like validating your unconditional self-worth is I set you free. I set you free to be everything you're here to be. And you just ask me for what's needed from me. All right, take a few breaths. You got to drink a lot of water. And I would, since you're outside, like take your shoes off and like ground into the earth to allow the electromagnetic discharge. But definitely a lot of water. Epsom salt bath also is good, or electrolytes, because you got to the body's a giant battery. We're a big electromagnetic system. And so battery is charged by the salts, the positive and the negative ions. So if you just like douse yourself with the salts and drink electrolytes, it's going to really allow like out with the old, in with the new, rebalancing. Be proud of yourself.
Just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor. It's such an honor. I'm so grateful and thankful. I don't think I could overstate it. I'm so grateful. Remember, it all starts with you. You have the power to create health, vitality, love, and prosperity beyond what you've imagined. You are your own healer. For more information on how you can begin this journey, go to my website, drkimd.com, where you will find multiple resources to open to true power and healing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I share tools for self-healing every week, and sign up for my newsletter at drkimd.com, where I share my personal journey and further resources to work with me for healing. All of these ways for us to stay connected can be found in the episode description. See you next time.